Before the year 1781, manifestors were the kings and the queens, the rulers, the slave owners in the world. They were not part of the crowd. They simply told others what to do. They gave them their impact. Go do this. And then that was your job. That's what you had to do because you followed the orders of the king. You listened to the leader. It was very strategic for the benefit of the few and hopefully the sustained living of the many. Hello there! Welcome to Dharma Science Radio. My name is Ian, and today we're talking about the nature of what it means to be a manifestor and if their strategy is actually fake.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to my favorite day. I was going to wear my nastiest manifestor t-shirt, but I decided to sort of keep that at bay. My goal throughout this week is to try to give you an idea of what the real advantage is in any type. I mean, most of the things that we deal with when we deal with type is that we deal with their dilemma. You know, manifestors are angry people. And because we're angry people, and we're angry because nobody understands us. Sounds like one of those sad movies. Like, nobody understands me. I'm a manifestor. But they don't. They are very uncomfortable around us. You know, there's nothing funnier to watch than people trying to stand around a manifestor. I mean, it's really cute, right? You know, and you can't get in. They can't get in. They do everything. Generators particularly, you know, they put their big enveloping aura around you and they're trying to sort of pull you in as a manifestor and you're just going, go away, you know? And you're not even wanting to do that because, of course, all of us are human beings who've gone through this whole conditioning process, and the worst thing you want to do to somebody is actually say what your aura is telling them, which is to go to hell, go away, leave me alone, stay out of my face. And you don't want to say that to them. You actually want them to be there because you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. So you say to them, you know, why don't you? And your aura is going, go away, go away, go away. Not easy to be a manifestor. Not easy to be a manifestor parent. I know that movie. Not easy. It's not easy to get into one of these auras. You cannot. You cannot. See, manifestors had their glory a long time ago. That's the thing to grasp. See, I've got to live on memories, you know? I got to live on the wonder of manifestors building these fantastic civilizations, right? You know, the whole history of the seven-centered being is nothing but generators being slaves to brilliant manifestors driving ahead. I loved it when generators were my slaves. It was fantastic. I'd say to them, you can't do what I do. And they say, yes, I can, yes, I can. And I would watch them try. And I didn't have to do it. I mean, they're great, eh? They're good at working and, you know, nothing like having a busy, easily manipulated generator around if you're a manifestor. And if it was 300 years ago or more. Generators don't pay much attention to us anymore. You know? It's sort of like, we've got a problem. They're right. We don't belong here. Not an easy thing to either say or think about. I mean, manifestors truly have had their day. If you look at strategy and authority, and you understand that every strategy is derived from a true mechanic within the vehicle, if you look at the strategy of a generator or the strategy of a projector or the strategy of a reflector, it is all legitimately rooted in mechanics, not the manifestor. Don't tell anybody, but it's made up. It's true. It's true. You see, look, if manifestors don't pretend that they have a strategy, they're going to have a really hard time in this life. really hard time. They're going to be very alone. Remember, when I say alone, I mean alone. I don't mean lonely. I don't mean that there aren't people around. Very alone, very lost within themselves, and very angry with the world around them. See, a manifestor is unlike any other type. It doesn't have the burdens that it seems other types have. You know, waiting to respond, waiting for an invitation, waiting for the moon. It seems like we've got this great advantage. But everybody else dislikes that. Everybody. I mean, everybody. And the moment you're a manifestor, you're 5 years old. You're a manifestor. It's a gorgeous day. You have learned how to turn the knob on the door. Right? You go over there, you turn that knob, you open that door, you go outside. You have a wonderful time. You get lost. I'm actually telling a story about myself. You go out and get lost. Your mother ends up calling the police, the fire department. I was off in the woods next to the house. You know, sitting under a tree playing. I guess I was reliving or about to live my future or something. And all of a sudden, there's all these guys with big hats. You know, we found him. Was my mother pissed? You know? Oh, I'm never going to let you out of my sight again. You're never allowed to do this. You have to ask permission, blah, 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 blah. What did I do? I opened the door because I could. I went out into the world because that's my right. You see, the strategy is not real. It's not like there's a natural place inside of me that wants to inform you. There isn't. There is not a natural place inside of me that wants to ask anybody's permission for anything. I'd rather die. Because there is no true mechanic to that. It's about survival. See, the manifestor child, I was lucky. My mother was a freak for politeness and manners and all that stuff. Saved my life. You know? See, the only way that a manifestor can protect themselves is to pretend that they're not really powerful. Is to pretend that they need the other. Excuse me, I'm a poor, weak, out-of-place manifestor, and I would really like you to help me cross the street. Yeah. And if you say that to a generator, they go, oh, I'd love to help you. Let me take you, nice, easy, kind, gentle, sweet manifestor, across the street. It's the only way I get across the street. It's the only way manifestors get anywhere. See, all we ever meet is resistance.
An awful lot can change within 300 years, you know? If we try to imagine, say, America 300 years ago, that was barely around the founding of the whole of America, not even quite. And so much has changed. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the ability to communicate like the way we are right now. There was so many different things. Like the postal system was still relatively new, I believe. And well, fundamentally, genetically speaking, humans were still pure humans, if I can put it that way. You see, the seven-centered and purely strategic human is what we think of when we're saying the anatomically modern human. This was a person who did not have access to higher orders of receptive, intuitive guidance. They had strategic intuition, not receptive intuition, and there's a big difference there. You see, in the year 1781, the projector was born, and they moved to the top of the hierarchy. However, before that, Before the year 1781, manifestors were the kings and the queens, the rulers, the slave owners in the world. They were not part of the crowd. They simply told others what to do. They gave them their impact. Go do this. And then that was your job. That's what you had to do because you followed the orders of the king. You listened to the leader. It was very strategic for the benefit of the few and hopefully the sustained living of the many. And if you're a manifestor, please, I wish you to not get hung up on the notion of the strategy being fake. Ra saying that there is no impulse within him to ask permission or to inform you of what he's about to do. I think he might be holding on to the past a little bit. He speaks about remembering, owning, and working with generators and telling them what to do. Past lives, you know. And so it's only natural that he wouldn't have any impulse towards informing. And perhaps other manifestors feel the same way. However, if you get hung up on the idea that it's fake, that it's not real, then your mind might be tricking you into thinking it's not important to inform those around you before you make a decision or do a behavior, such as that story of innocently leaving the house, walking out the door, and playing in the forest. If he had simply let his mother know, hey, I'm going to go play outside, perhaps she would have said, oh, all right, be back before supper, something like that. And that can change the world around you because you see, the manifestor sees the impact that other people have on them and that they have on other people. This is very attractive to the mind of a manifestor. And if you don't inform, then people fill up with all kinds of different thoughts around what's happening, what's going on, why didn't they let me know, where did they go, what's happening? And it can cause a lot of anxiety, nervousness, and fear within other people. And so if you're a manifestor and you care about someone, please let them know, inform them. And if you're working with manifestor children, the invitation is to teach them how to ask for permission, so long as they're living under your roof, your rules. If a manifestor can learn to ask permission before behaving, they will be much more well-suited to the world that we find ourselves in today, the worlds of interacting with other people. You see, the history we have with manifestors is a tough and challenging history. Being told what to do, that's not really what we're here for, especially not now as nine-centered, receptive human beings. We're here to be recognized and honored for our differences and allowed to follow our own inner authority and type strategy to fulfill the potential of what it means to be a unique individual human being. And so please don't get hung up on the notion that the manifestor strategy of informing is fake. Because you still have to wait for something as well. I'm not sure why he doesn't mention it here. However, there is an impulse from within, from your authority, that you have to be able to trust. It's not simply your mind deciding. It's not like manifestors are allowed to have mental authority and just not self all over the place. That makes them especially disliked. Because you already have an aura that is repelling and pushing people away. They can't penetrate into the core of you as manifestor. The least you could do is work with these other people who have genetic histories of being abused by you, your kind. So be aware of who you are. Pay attention to the relationships we have with each other. And inform your friends, inform your family, inform those you care about. And have a nice day. Take care. Bye for now.
If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.